morning, everybody. Welcome.
Good morning.
Another week for our Thursday edition of Title Talk.
We made it to another Thursday.
We did it again.
We did it.
We are starting to celebrate these little accomplishments, such as making it from week to week. This is big. This is exciting. This is great. Thank you guys for tuning in. Again, my name is Drew.
And my name is Amy.
We are Inspired Title Group, the title company of the ages, for the ages, and we're also the title company that cares because we're doing this program and we do it weekly because we feel that there's a lot of great things to talk about and bring to your guys' attention, get to know us, chat a little bit more about things that are going on in the world of us. I think it's also fun and exciting that we talk and bring to you guys some industry terms and situations and circumstances. We've covered things over the time from short sales all the way into doing the new construction and how to do you're building a house and how to go through that process of your title company and the role of a realtor, the role of an attorney, some different terms and I think that
we really do talk about a lot.
Yeah,
we cover a lot on this show.
And it's almost worth circling back to doing some of these again and refreshing some of the terms. And
I think that might be a good idea.
Yeah, just getting people back, and it's just like anything else. I mean, repetition is great. Repetition is what people learn from. So
right.
Obviously, Barney the dinosaur worked. Do you know the song?
I love you.
See?
You
when you
love
say
me.
the words, and why is that? Because it's repetition.
But still, I like the Lamb Chop song better.
Ugh.
That was my jam. I used to watch it every morning before my mom curled my hair and gave me a mullet in kindergarten.
The voice is what.
This is a song that never ends. Yeah. Oh yeah.
It could end right now.
Those.
Okay?
You're so salty.
It could end right now. That'd be
fun
awesome.
Sucker.
Well, hey, so again, thanks for joining us. Inspired Title is located in Palos Heights. Where are we today? We're in Palos Heights, right? It's been a long week, man. It's been a long
11757 Southwest Highway in Palos Heights. I got you.
Thanks, Sam. We have offices other places too, right?
We do have offices in Griffith and in St. John as well.
Good.
I got you. See?
Good.
This is why I'm on the show.
Yes. So we're going to dive right in. We have some interesting things to chat about today, some fun introductions of some new ideas and such. Let's go into our segment that we are calling the just a little bit more about title talk stuff. So why don't you start off if you don't mind?
So we are hoping to get the entire team in here at some point to interview them so you can kind of meet everybody and see who is involved.
Miguel did commit to coming in next week.
Did he?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, so we'll have him in next week.
So I thought it'd be cool for us to just kind of give you what we do in a day.
Sure.
Because every day is different, but every day we also have our jobs and we know what we're working on. And so I am the strictly titled department person.
Mm-hmm.
Brittany comes in. Brittany, we hired her at the very end of last year.
Mm-hmm.
So she's been here for 3 months with us. So she is like my right hand as it comes to now. So she is my searcher. I am the title lady.
Mm-hmm.
We have our processors that John, Miguel, Christina, and then Courtney has taken the place as she's our post-closing department right now. We're kind of calling her.
Right.
So we are talking about possible growth in the future, which is something super exciting. So we spent more time than we normally do on forming what our team is, what our company is, and how we work as one.
Right.
And I think with that being said, the thing that has become really, really important is focusing more on team growth rather than individual work. And that was a big thing I talked to Allison about, was the difference between growing as a team and growing as an individual.
Yeah.
Because some places it is super important. If you're paid on commission, you're a solo flyer pretty much, right? If you're in sales, you work by yourself, but that's complete opposite of what this is and what we're trying to build and what we're trying to grow, and then ultimately what we're trying to implement in our future, businesses or whatever.
Yeah. And I think that plays very well into what I want to talk about in the leadership piece, because as you were just ending with the Allison conversation, to kind of elaborate on that a little bit, Allison is your coach.
I have a coach, yeah.
So what I did in my leadership role, and something that I thought was very important and would be very advantageous to the leaders of this company, Amy being one of them, is to get them coaching on the business world and feeling comfortable in growing a healthy environment.
And it's something I never even thought of, never even knew existed, never even like spent time to wrap my brain around.
Yeah.
But it's unbelievable how just these conversations like open up your mind to either, you know, working with different types of people, working with other people, how people respond to you and how you
Right.
respond to them. It's just and like our personalities in this place, we are all over the board. So like kind of figuring out who works best with each other and how we work as a group has been a huge over the last couple months.
Yeah, and as the ringleader, if you will, you know, I'm controlling the circus, and literally there are some days that this thing is a circus. And there are, as Amy stated, very, very different personalities, and as a leader, one of the key components of that is knowing your audience. I will talk to Amy much differently than I would talk to somebody else because of not who she is as far as her role in the company. I will talk to her differently because of her personality.
Who I am as a person, yeah.
Because of how she handles things. I mean, she may understand and have thick skin and be able to take it, whereas somebody else might be more fragile.
Or I'm really fragile and somebody else has thick skin. It's
and
just,
just knowing how to talk to those people and address them. So, you know, the day in the life of what we do is a lot more than just the day-to-day business.
It really is.
I mean, you're literally molding people to grow in the business or in the job that they're doing.
And how do we want people to move past what their job just is?
Right.
You know, so a huge part of what we're kind of talking about right now is how do we grow our business?
Right.
So like, who do we put in charge of going to solicit business? Who do we send to talk to attorneys? Who do we want to go talk to the awesome lenders that we work with? It's like, it's not just a willy-nilly, everybody, a free-for-all. Like, I never really understood how much time went into planning and thinking about this until I was involved with it, which is something, like I said, I have zero idea about.
100%. The dynamic of business and growth and financial and day-to-day, I mean, it's not just, you know, turn the key in the door and start.
Here we go.
I mean, it does take some planning. There are some set steps that are required. And just as the same, there are going to be conflicts.
Oh yeah.
And I think that's one of the big points of the learning is learning to deal with conflicts. And
because they will erupt. They will.
No doubt. And that is definitely something that you admittedly struggled with.
Oh yeah.
And you've got.
Because I hate conflict.
Right.
Like that is, if I could avoid conflict, I will avoid it at all costs. I will run in my corner and hide so I don't have to like face that. It's just kind of the person I am.
That's not uncommon.
But it's part of what it is now that I think I've become better at, you know, dealing with and managing. So if you're out there like thinking about starting a business, I would strongly suggest you start to look into like some of this coaching training stuff.
Yeah.
I think we did it. What was that, 6 months ago?
Yeah, so I think we're
7 or 8 months
I think
now?
we're 7 or 8 months in.
Yeah, and like,
Sure.
you know, I don't want to speak for you, but kind of what made Drew think about doing this is the workplace environment.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was kind of reaching a breaking point for everybody.
Right.
Where, like I said, everybody is so different. And Drew was like, we got to do something now before it's a spontaneous combustion and like crap hits the fan. And I think it was one of the best choices he's made is my boss is the leader of this company, because where we are now and where we were 8 months ago, it's night and day, I think.
Yeah, and I hope to see that a transformation in that process. I mean, my interest as the leader is the well-being of the team, and the well-being of the team is only as good as what you put into them. And I noticed some strengths, I noticed some skill sets, I see some really great points and abilities, and it's how do you get this out of them? What do you do to strengthen them? Because you can sit there and praise them all day. You can give them, rewards and the patronizing pats on the back and all those things. But what's greater than investing in them?
Yeah.
And literally when I saw kind of the wheels falling off the bus as we were getting busier and the stress level that increased, it was a conversation that said, hey, I need to do something and I need to do something now. And the coaching decision was, was what came to fruition. And I'll tell you that it was not well received. It was not something that people felt
bought into or believed in, or
doing. This is not going to work. This is a waste of time.
Yeah.
I mean, all the negativity, all of the fear of change, because that's exactly. I equated the negativity to fear of change because that's literally what it was.
It was.
And once they started to see how personalities differed and learn a little bit more about the inner workings of each other, and started to get a little bit deeper involved in trusting one another, all of a sudden that was a key component to this thing going, this really seems to work.
Because it had to be hard for you, because as a business owner, growth is exciting. It should be, right? Like, getting busy, people knowing the name, people like getting out there and stuff, like that's got to be one of the most exciting parts for a business.
It is.
And it was like your excitement was
totally stifled.
Stifled, that's the word I was looking for. Thank you. Stifled by the, oh my God, can we handle this?
Right.
And so I think now that that's kind of under control, I think you're kind of getting to that point again where you're excited about what the future holds now, because our wheels are a little bit tighter than they were before.
Yeah.
But like I said, it has to be discouraging as a leader to see that.
Yeah, of course. I mean, there were many moments that I was out there, just growing, and that looking at what was happening inside the office, and then realizing that, oh my gosh, all that hard work can get erased because it's not working. It's no different than building a house. You got to have a solid foundation to put the house on. Otherwise, the house comes crumbling down.
Yeah.
Well, your office team has got to be solid and cohesive to allow you growth, because you can, the adage of sales solve everything, I lived by it. It's a great thing that I thought. However, when you see it in motion, it's not as great, because it's wonderful to have the business, but for how long?
Yeah.
And that was what I was risking, and what was at jeopardy. What was in jeopardy was those relationships that I worked so hard to gain become undone.
And I think that's another one of the hard parts of it, because Drew would be out of the office. This was a year and a half ago, maybe, and Drew, spent not a lot of time, but a chunk of time out of the office, like soliciting business and going to talk to new people and stuff. And it's hard when you have some of the team that didn't back that initially.
Right.
Like, some of the team was like, well, he's out of the office and we don't know. And like, he was explaining to us, and like, I kind of always I trust what people say. So like, yeah, I could handle what was going on in the office while Drew was going, and people thought growing business, because like it all snowballed so fast.
Right.
And it, Drew kept telling us like, be ready, it's gonna happen, and you don't. Some people don't believe it until it actually happens.
No.
And all of a sudden it was like, bam, and like this snowball just like,
Yep.
and it was like, it caught a lot of traction and a lot of speed really freaking fast.
Yeah.
And we were all, and that's when it, like the oh poop is like, fasten your seatbelts, like this is, we're going now.
They didn't heed the warning sign of me saying it at meeting after meeting.
Right.
They looked at it like, yeah, okay, right, whatever.
All right, we'll believe it when it happens.
I mean, I wasn't making it up to give people this false sense of, comfortability, because wow, that would be terrible.
Right.
I was like, guys, let's get things together and organized, because the spigot is on, it's trickling, it's going to be full open, and it's going to be a waterfall.
Right.
And thankfully, that baby was what they needed to see for it to really hit home. I mean, you were able to see ahead and kind of, mentally prepare for it. I think there's just a level of people who just go, I'll believe it when I see it, and that's okay. But unfortunately, it's too late then.
Right. Then you're doggy paddling trying to swim. And then I guess the hard thing is, from your perspective, is like, what happens when business slows down? And so like, we've been having this conversation, like, do we need one more person here? Because we have been pretty busy, like, but then, we heard from the team. One day we're like, holy cow, we're so busy. And the next day it's like, oh, we really slowed down. We have nothing to do.
Right.
Like,
Right.
so how do, like, as a business owner, how do you weigh those pros and cons of like hiring new people, or like, what does that feel? Sorry,
that's
kind of off track.
No, it's not at all. It's really kind of spot on to what we're talking about in general, and leadership and the different roles and
and the
responsibilities.
decisions that
There
you
are-
have to go through on an everyday basis.
Right. It's, until somebody has been one, until somebody is in that role, everybody has a different perspective of the right answer. Everybody has for me, I do what I believe that I can handle and what I believe the team can handle. So, we've heard that interest rates are starting to creep up. Some of the refi market is kind of quieting
Quieting
down.
down a little bit,
So
yeah.
our shift is going to be needing to find the buy-sell market, which is
Yeah.
the attorneys in Illinois and then the realtors in Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
So with that, we start our slow shift. We get everybody kind of engaged in revisiting the conversations with the attorney clients that we've
For sure.
had, and now we go out and we really hammer the streets on trying to grow in the Indiana market. So that fear or that thought of, do we need another person, never really goes away. It kind of maybe gets shelved for a little bit until
Yeah.
the next wave comes, because typically this has been in waves. I mean,
It has. It really has.
this was the refi wave.
Mhm.
Okay, the courts have been closed. They've stopped foreclosures. They've stopped the tax sales, etc. Well, now the world is starting to open back
I was
up
gonna
again.
say, I'm guessing 6 months. I'm knocking on wood that in 6 months, like, the world is going to be pretty
Right.
normal again.
Right.
And so this will happen. I think the
Yeah.
next wave is going to be those foreclosures and those
The
short
short
sales and
sales
stuff.
because of the forbearance issues.
Right.
So there's going to be that change in business, and that's the role of the leader, is to adapt to the business changes that are taking place. I mean, look how quickly we adapted to COVID. Look how quickly COVID happened. It was like a year ago yesterday, or a year ago
It'll
last
be a
week.
year ago tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah, to the date.
Okay. Basketball games were canceled yesterday, a year
it's
ago.
my competition. That's how I know.
Right. Okay.
Because my kids we were getting ready for a competition a year ago from tomorrow,
Okay.
and we got the call that said there's no competition.
Nuts.
A year ago from tomorrow.
Okay.
Today. Sorry.
So
They
here
moved
we
it.
are. We took 1 year and went, okay, what do we do? So that was the implementation of the new technologies. It's the implementation of the new processes and ways.
These
How does that come
closings
up?
and these curbside closings.
You
and these,
literally jump in with both feet and you go, all right, I need to steer this ship and keep it upright and keep everything moving and keep everybody, without any kind of big laps and gaps, because that's where.
and with no time to adjust. It's like fly by the seat of your pants, hope for the best.
I love that. Like
I
I enjoy
know.
the heck out of that stressful moment of that like busyness excites me.
Oh, I know.
Opportunities for
I know.
I would love every day in here to be just hectic and busy, because it's
Organized chaos.
we've talked about that.
Yeah,
And
the
that's what
difference-
we're trying to achieve,
Yes.
is the organized chaos. As I said, the ringleader,
Yes.
the circus, you have to kind of control
The
it.
difference between the oh crap all the time and the okay, this is oh crap, but we have a team that can handle it.
Right.
There's a difference, and because
And confidence. A lot of that comes with confidence too.
It does.
I mean, and we're building that. We're building trust. We're building confidence within the team members, and we're also allowing them to think outside the box. As a leader, that's a very, very important role. You want your team to be heard. You want your team to have a voice. You have the final say, or you have the controlling factor, because it's your business, it's your company, it's your money. But maybe there's an idea out there. Maybe there's a thought out there. Maybe there's something that has been asked or said in the industry that you didn't think of. You put it out there. It's okay. It doesn't mean that you have to do it. It doesn't mean that it's something that is gospel. It's let them spew it and be heard, because many a times you hear employees say, well, it doesn't matter what I think. It doesn't matter what I say.
Right.
I'm here from this time to this time, and I don't care anything beyond that. Well, that's definitely not an attitude that we have here.
no.
We definitely don't have anybody that is, punching a clock and going, okay, well, it's, 4:59, 4:59 and 30, 4:59, I'm out.
I'm gone.
It's brake lights at 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
No, I mean, we literally are all in this to, if it's craziness, it's all hands on deck. If it's if we are having a lull, I have no problem letting people, go enjoy that sunny day.
Right.
And because you've worked your rear end off during a different time, so it's okay.
But you've also had the mentality like, I don't want you working at all hours of the day.
No. No.
He's as busy as we have been, which there were days where I'm like, I have 19 gray hairs from today. He's always preached like, you don't live here.
Right.
Like, you have a life outside this. He's like, at some point you need to shut off and turn off because it'll still be waiting tomorrow for you when you get here. And that's been one of the cool things too.
Yeah, but think about the point of what I said in one of our meetings a short time ago was, you're never going to get caught up.
Never.
If you're caught up,
We're closed.
then we don't have anything to do. So if you keep that mentality going, I got to get caught up. What is that? What does that mean? Because there's always something behind it. So
My cut up I used to get all the titles done like in a day.
Mhm.
Like, and it was crazy. Like, when I first started to work on those, it was like
right,
I would leave the office with my desk empty.
right,
I don't think I've done that for,
a year plus.
I was gonna say a year and a half. Which is crazy because you need to just adapt to what your mentality of being caught up or being done is. And
You set a precedent by giving your clients and your customers a certain level of service, and that's at a certain level. Well, if that level increases, you can't possibly maintain that.
No.
So now they're going, wait a minute, what used to take 2 or 3 days now takes a week. Well, guess what? They're going to adapt to that new normal that you
Right.
create. So you look at your clock and you go, you know what? I've put in a pretty solid day. I'm done. I'm going to go ahead and enjoy my family or enjoy my time.
you need to.
You got to. It's part of balance. You got to have a work and life balance, and that's I preach this, but I don't live it, because my work life balance and Carol will
Sucks.
absolutely agree to this, because there's many times that I'm sitting at home and I'm still working, and
I have no idea.
right, I know, and I'm still, my mind is still engaged. I don't shut off.
Yeah.
And this with the COVID, we didn't have the vacation times, and that's when I really try to refill my bucket and turn off. I mean, yeah, I'm still engaged. I'm still interested.
You're still in, but you're not.
But I mean, gee, I'm working from Jamaica. That's so tragic, right?
Shucks, my life sucks.
I can deal with that for a couple hours a day. It's not a big deal to me.
Right.
I don't call that a burden. But when you are a company owner, when you are a leader, there are certain things that fall on you as responsibilities, and that's okay. You have to accept those. So
Yeah.
But I think that is a good summary of who we are, and as a company, how we kind of gel and work, and some kind of balances that we try to maintain.
Yeah, and how we're fixing and working on our future growth and all that. And I think it's an ongoing thing that we're going to keep focusing on, because
it has to be.
it has to. And like I said, from a year ago to today, it's night and day what a day in the life of this
Right.
place feels like and looks like.
I'm glad you're saying that, because it's something that is worrisome, because I don't necessarily see as much as you might see with the interaction of the
Right.
team, but the efforts are there. I mean, the team is really dedicated. They're hardworking, and I'm really proud of everybody. And we'll definitely have one of our team members on next week to speak a little bit more to that, and really elaborate a little bit more on his perspective of where things started and kind of where they are now. And it'll be interesting to see what we get from that.
Yeah.
And what kind of feedback we get. So let's move on to
That's
our,
cool.
our
I
next
like
segment.
that.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
those conversations are not boring to the point of, okay, well, let's talk title. These are applicable to any kind of business or any kind of job, and these are life lessons that I think are relatively important. So
I think so too. Very neat.
thanks for listening, folks. Let's wrap up with our quote of the day.
All right.
Have a quote that you like?
I do. I have.
All right.
What you permit, you promote. What you allow, you encourage. What you condone, you own. What you tolerate, you deserve.
Wow.
It's deep, right?
Wow.
Are you reading yours?
No, I'm thinking about that. That's
Okay. What you permit, you
pretty
promote.
strong.
What you allow, you encourage. What you condone, you own. What you tolerate, you deserve.
Who wrote that?
I don't know.
That's by.
I was talking to my coach about it this morning,
Mm-hmm.
and she just simply said that what you permit, you promote. And I was like, there's more to, like, it resonated with me. I was like, there's more to that. So I was
Nice.
doing some sleuthing.
Nice.
That's mine for the day.
I'll bring mine to my book and a quote that I used frequently amongst the kids that they'd come to practice, or the first day of baseball, I would always look at them and we would go through practice, and at the end of practice I would tell them that today is the worst you're ever going to be, because every day after you're just going to get better. And literally, when I continued to preach that to the kids, they started preaching it after practices themselves. They're like,
That's
said,
cool.
we're going to suck today, but by next week we're going to be better. And that getting better mentality really snowballed into doing well and growing. So
I like that one.
yep. So folks,
really neat.
we really we really appreciate you guys for joining our weekly title talk.
Yeah, hanging out with us on Thursdays.
This thing just gets stronger and stronger, and we get better and better at it, I hope. And you guys get to spend some time with us, and
Cool to see who pops on here and watches them. It's
shares
really neat.
shares their stories and offers their comments, and we've gotten a lot of good comments over the time period of us doing this, and that's what obviously continues allows us to continue to do it.
For sure, then why we want to keep doing it.
Yeah, so we're hoping to make this bigger and greater as we do it. So from your friends at Inspired Title, my name is Drew.
And my name is Amy.
Thank you guys again for tuning in and listening. Make sure you like us and share us and do all those fun things that social media requires. This will be available on YouTube in a handful of days, so if you want to pick up on something that we talked about or share it with somebody else, it'll be available for you guys to do that. So until next week, we'd like to thank you guys for joining and wish you a great and happy week. And spring is upon us, folks.
Enjoy the weather.
Yeah, absolutely. Take care, everybody.
Bye.
Thanks for joining.